Welcome to the Cryptonomatron. Thanks for joining me again today, guys. This is just going to be a short video looking at my spreadsheet, looking at the current state of the markets, and maybe having a look at a couple of upcoming ICOs that hopefully I'll get a chance to review in the future. But if this is your first time watching the channel and you want to know more about cryptocurrencies, ICOs, masternodes, staking coins, and how to get cryptocurrency working for you, then you've got to click on that subscribe button and click on that bell notification icon as well, and you'll get notified as soon as I upload new content and as soon as I go live. So let's get started then, guys. Let's have a quick look at the markets and see what's going on. So the markets do not look very good at all. Everything seems to be down. Market capitalization is heading south very rapidly. It's now at $274 billion with a volume of $16.5 billion in the last 24 hours. Bitcoin continues to increase dominance. And of course, that is not good news for the altcoins. Now, the slide has subsided a little bit. We were in double figure reds for the last sort of 48 hours, but it seems to have actually eased off a little bit. Now, the reason I wanted to cover the markets in this video is I heard a very interesting conspiracy theory. The theory was that Bitmain are suppressing the price of Bitcoin basically to ensure that other miners cannot continue to make profits, thus retaining a sort of monopoly over the mining. Now, people were saying to me, well, why would Bitmain want to do that? They want Bitcoin to be at the at the highest price that it possibly can, so they can make the biggest profits. Yes, that's absolutely true, but this gives them an opportunity to get rid of the competition. So if you can take out the competition, and we know Bitmain are minted, so they can hang on and subsidize their own mining efforts while Bitcoin is not profitable to mine. Whereas other manufacturers of hardware, other mining farms, other businesses that are mining related may not be able to sustain themselves in the longer term. And I think what we may see is a scenario where Bitmain retain an absolute monopoly over equipment manufacturer, over mining. So I initially didn't think much of this conspiracy theory. I thought it had some credence to it, but again, I'm not one that's a great believer. And then Ripple's CEO earlier today came out and said Bitcoin is under control of a small group of miners from China. Now, Brad Garlinghouse, Ripple's CEO, said that Bitcoin is really controlled by China. Now, I've mentioned China in my videos many times before, saying that any project that's located in China or has something to do with China poses very large geopolitical risk, and Bitcoin is no different. And again, it appears that Brad Garlinghouse agrees with this conspiracy theory in that there are dominance of Chinese Bitcoin miners that are controlling and manipulating the market. Now, the irony was not lost on me, because we know that Ripple is a fairly centralized cryptocurrency, if indeed it is a cryptocurrency at all. Some argue that it isn't. So for Brad to come out and claim that Bitcoin is not really decentralized and controlled by China does tend to be a bit ironic. And so Brad said, the quote is here, "I'll tell you another story that is underreported but worth paying attention to. Bitcoin is really controlled by China. There are 4 miners in China that control over 50% of Bitcoin. How do we know that China won't intervene? How many countries want to use a Chinese-controlled cryptocurrency? It's just not going to happen." Now, you can't really argue with that quote, can you? So conspiracy theories aside, the Bitcoin price is still languishing around $6,400, $6,500 as of this evening. Now, it looks as if we had a little bit of a bounce there, but it looks like a dead cat bounce to me. I don't think that we're going to see a recovery anytime soon. I'm not very optimistic on the prices here, guys, I must admit. Now, I'm not a trader. I don't put all my faith in technical analysis and charts, but I will say I do believe that we're headed down a little bit more, because the market sentiment at the moment cannot support a major bounce. I think any bounce that we're going to see is going to be relatively minor, and we're going to see another low this year, unfortunately. That's my belief, but I'm hoping I'm going to be wrong, because it's already dropped significantly. But we have seen Bitcoin do 94% retracements before, twice before, long time ago. I think one was in 2013 and one was in 2015, if I'm not wrong. And it's done it before. But could it do it again? Who knows? I mean, you know, we're really on the edge here. But when it becomes unprofitable, then that's when problems start to happen, because you're going to have miners, the smaller miners, shutting down their operations because they won't be able to, you know, it's not sustainable. They can't buy new equipment if they're not making profits. Again, all of this is to Bitmain's advantage as well, because they're the big player here. So a relatively unprofitable Bitcoin in the short and medium term is beneficial to Bitmain. Okay, we're here to talk about the spreadsheet, so let's get started. Now, I've just started another spreadsheet. I did have one before, but because I changed the way I score ICOs in the video reviews, I decided to scrap it and just start from fresh. Rather than trying to transpose all the old scores over to the new spreadsheet, I thought, stuff it, we'll start again for clarity, much easier to follow. Now, it's a work in progress. I am going to add different categories and more features to it as well as we go further down the line. At the moment, though, you can see there are 3 tabs at the bottom here. There's ICO ratings, which are based on the ratings I give in the video reviews. There's also upcoming ICOs as well, which include a lot of projects that are on the horizon but not yet finalized. And the yellow means that I don't have enough information to actually do a review on them. Green means I've completed a review on them, and red means they're not having an ICO or I wasn't able to review them for whatever reason. I've also included this handy ICO scheduling spreadsheet as well, which I used myself for a while, and that's just to keep track of your whitelisting status, the pre-sale or ICO dates, whether you're going to participate, your profits as well, perhaps, and your participation in stuff like bounty campaigns, affiliate links if you do that, and other stuff. So again, all these are a work in progress, but I think you might find a couple of these things quite handy, including the upcoming ICOs. So as far as the ratings concerned, we have only a few projects that I've reviewed. In fact, Money Token I did not do a video on. I was going to do it, but I elected not to. So I just quickly reviewed it and gave it a score. Now, anything above sort of 5.5, 6 is going to be very, very good, guys, because you know, I am pretty I'm pretty harsh with them. So let's just chat about a couple of these upcoming ICOs that I've noted on the spreadsheet. Now, I added this part today because I noticed, and I got a bit annoyed actually, there was quite a lot of reviewers that are actually reviewing projects with no tokenomics, no idea of the token price, you know, a lot of details missing, and that, you know, that's not really conducive to a fair and unbiased review. Now, for me, I will not review a project, I will not review an ICO project unless I have all the information that I deem necessary. Now, you know, if I need small pieces of information that are missing from the website, the white paper, it's quite often the case, then I will go on Telegram or go on Discord and I'll find out from the admins there what I need to know. And if I don't find out, I usually state it in the review. But, you know, not having a white paper and reviewing an ICO is just absolutely ridiculous. And again, if you don't have any details on the tokenomics, including the most important factor, the price, then how can you honestly review a project? If you don't know the price of it, how do you know whether it's going to be a bargain to invest in? Or, you know, is it overpriced? You know, if you don't have these metrics, and then there's no way you can make an assessment of a project. I'm sorry, it just is not possible, because this is an investment. This is a speculative, cryptocurrency speculative, guys. That's what it is. It's what everybody's doing in it, is to make money in one way or another. Now, you know, the point is, if you're going to speculate on an ICO, you want to know what your returns are going to be, and you want to know how much you're going to have to invest to get any sort of returns out of it. So without prices, I'm sorry, you just can't give a proper review. It's just not possible. And I see all these spreadsheets and all these reviews on YouTube as well, and on blogs that are basically just, you know, they're just churning out nonsense because they don't have the facts at hand to give them a proper rating. So I took it upon myself to build this page today of some of the projects that I've seen being reviewed on YouTube and I've seen on other people's spreadsheets as all-star ICOs and gems and everything else. And I basically put this together so we can track them and we can follow them, and I can do reviews on them if you guys want me to, when we've got all the information that we need. So as we can see here, I've seen Anchor and Ergo, both quite high profile projects, new on the horizon. Both of them have been reviewed by some reviewers. And again, there was a white paper for Anchor at some point, but it's been withdrawn. It's not available on the website at the moment. So there's no white paper basically as yet. And there's no ICO details either. We don't know any pricing. We don't know any tokenomics, nothing like that we can actually base our review on. So what's the point in doing one, guys? You're not going to be able to give it a proper review. It's ridiculous, honestly. Anyway, so my ranting aside, I'm going to include this and I'm going to expand this every time a new project comes on the horizon. I'm going to expand it. Now, looking down the list here, some of the projects are very promising indeed. I think I've got my eye on a couple, especially Constellation and Elrond Network in terms of infrastructure projects that are coming along. But also, I mean, some of the other ones are very, very interesting indeed. I mean, there's obviously Hedera Hashgraph, which has been around forever, it seems, and still not had a public sale. And again, I doubt they probably will have a public sale because I believe they're based in the US. And ongoing scrutiny by the Securities Commission, basically makes it very difficult for them to comply with any regulations. So, I can't see Hashgraph having a public sale. I might be wrong. I hope I'm wrong, but that's my feeling on it. Some other ones to watch here. Again, Metabase, I did a review on, very under the radar project. They've just actually turned around and announced they won't have a lockup on some of the tokens as well, so they've just changed their approach to the tokenomics. Noz, of course, is the first blockchain OS on Neo, going to be a very interesting project. Oasis Labs, a lot of hype behind it. Solana's another one that's it's an infrastructure project that they reckon they're already at 70,000 transactions per second and can go a lot quicker. And some of the others, yeah, just worth paying attention to, I think. So they're on the spreadsheet, guys. If you want me to add more projects that are out there and you want me to review them, then that's what I'll do. And hopefully I can try and work through all of these. At least if I can't provide a video review on them, I'll actually add them to the rating spreadsheet after I've had a couple hours look through them and give it a rough rating so we can get an idea whether they're actually worth even looking at. But another thing I have to say here, guys. Another thing I have to say here, guys, is many of these projects will end up not having public sales. That's the way it's going at the moment, guys. It's not looking good in the ICO space. So all of these projects, for me, the majority of these in this list so far are ones that I've had my eye on for a while. Probably some of the most promising ones out there. And a lot of them won't have public sales. It's just the way it's going. Private sales only, venture capitalists, big firms will go in, big money, big investors. And again, it's kind of not in the spirit of the ICO. We saw last year, 70–80% on occasion of the total amount of tokens were given to the public in ICOs, and now we're seeing maybe 10% in some cases, the rest going to venture capitalists, a lot to the team, and many being held in reserve. So it's changed space. Even in the last year, ICOs have completely changed in their approach, mostly because of regulations coming in, but also because people are just, they're human and they're getting greedy. So there we are. That is the video concluded. I've not really gone into much depth today. I just couldn't be bothered. I guess I'm getting a little bit worn out with the continuous bearish sentiment in the market, and it's hard to keep a positive attitude. But again, I'm quite positive still. I have sold most of my altcoins. The guys that follow me on Telegram, Dennis, Gary, Anush, David, some of the others will know that I've basically gone into masternodes quite heavily. I got rid of a lot of my portfolio. Again, there's no point in bearish markets. There's no point in holding altcoins. You're just going to lose money. So to hedge, rather than going into Tether or just into fiat, which is just far too difficult and annoying for me, I elected just to sell off into Bitcoin and actually buy some masternodes and see whether I could get residual incomes. So far, so good. It's been quite good so far, but I will continue to update you in Masternode Monday to see how we're going. So there we go. I just went into Aced Masternode. Pre-sales ongoing at the moment. So if you want to check them out, I'll leave the link in the description below. As ever, do your own due diligence, guys. This video is not financial advice, just having a bit of banter tonight. I was going to go live, but I want to watch Russia, Saudi Arabia in a minute at the start of the World Cup. So enjoy yourself, guys. Take it easy. Again, don't get stressed out. What is going to happen is going to happen. We can't stop the tide. And again, we're still swimming against it at the moment. So peace out. See you later.